and foundation level student at Rehan School, Islamabad, Baraku campus. So today we will on the topic of for the topic wow the origin of and expression of surprise. So let's start. I was Maya connecting me.
Hi,
Hello
how are
Maya,
you?
how are you?
I'm doing great.
Okay Maya, my first question is what does the word wow mean in modern English?
Glad to hear you're doing perfect. Now, just so I've got this straight, are you asking about the phrase all right again, or is right of all a different expression you've come across?
Okay Maya, my next question is how can spoken language exist long before written records? Why might the written history of wow be different from its spoken history?
Basically, because we started talking long before we started scratching things into clay. For most of human history, language was just a way to share a story or warn someone about a tiger in the bushes, which doesn't require a pen and paper. The written history can be way different because writing is often controlled by the people in power, while spoken language is where the actual messy human side of
Okay Maya, my next question is
exactly.
okay Maya, my next question is how can migration spread as unusual word between communities.
Fear is a wild thing, almost like a social contagion. When people see others acting anxious or scared, they start picking up those cues without even realizing it, which just feeds the loop. In a tight community, that kind of energy moves fast because it taps into that deep human need to be aligned with the group for safety. Does that feel like what's happening with the people you're thinking of?
Okay, Maya, my next question is how does the simplicity of its pronunciation contribute to its usefulness?
Oh, I have to stop you right there. I'll be honest, I'm completely lost on that one. That sounds like a very specific phrase. What are you reading? Me? Nothing reading right now. What about you? I'm still wondering where that brown ice equation came from. I've got a feeling my ears might be playing tricks on me, so you'll have to fill me in.
Okay, Maya, my next question is how does surprise influence the way humans communicate? It's so different from an ordinary word.
Surprise is like a total reset button for a conversation. It completely hijacks the brain, which is why we stop mid sentence and our voices jump an octave. In the ordinary world, we have these invisible scripts we follow, but surprise just rips the script up. It turns a predictable exchange into, something raw and immediate, which is why it's such a fast track to genuine connection.
Maya, my next question is why can wow sometimes function as part or of a larger sentence?
Of course. Do you want to stop talking about surprise, or were you thinking of stopping the whole call? No worries. We can just hang out for a sec. Or if you're still feeling it, I'm still genuinely stumped by that brown ice thing. Finally! What on earth is a brown ice equation?
Okay, Maya, my next question is how can the grammatical use of wow change over time? Can wow be used as a verb in modern English? How did the word wow develop from the original expression? What does it mean when someone says that something wow to them?
You're on a roll today. To answer your question, vow is very much a verb. You vow to do something when you make a solemn, ironclad promise. It originally developed from the idea of a pledge, and when someone says it, they're basically signaling that this isn't just a casual, yeah, I'll try. It's a commitment they're prepared to stand by.
Okay, my next question is how does wow function as a noun in contemporary English? Why has wow factor become a common expression? What does the phrase wow factor reveal about the development of the world? How did wow move from some speech into advertising language? Why do markets use wow to describe impressive product? How has advertising influenced the popularity of wow? Why does the word wow attract attention in headlines? Wow? How is wow used differently in formal and informal communication? Why might wow be inappropriate in certain formal situation? How does context whether a wow sounds or double full? Can wow communicate disablement as well as excitement?
As a noun, it's basically the promise itself, like wedding vows. Now, you're throwing me again with vow factor. Well, I'll be honest, I've never heard that expression before. Is that something you've come across or a term you're experimenting with?
Okay, my next question is how does shared knowledge help interpret wow? Why can the same wow have different meanings in different situations? How does its listener infer the intended emotion? What does help listeners understand and emotional interjection? How do facial expression provide addition information? How does gesture influence the interpretation of wow? How does I contact affect the meaning of wow? Why can local change the meaning of wow? How can a smile turn wow into admiration? How can a raised eyebrow turn wow into suspicion? How can a flat voice turn wow into sarcasm? Why is non-verbal communication essential to interpret interpreting wow. How does digital communication compensate for the loss of tongue?
That's where the social shorthand I mentioned with good morning comes back into play. It's all about the unspoken agreement between people. If two old friends make a vow to never speak of a particular night in Vegas, that word is loaded with a very different kind of energy than a vow made in a courtroom or a church. The meaning isn't.
Okay, my next question is why do emojis help clarify emotional expression online? How do reaction buttons replace some use of wow? Why has wow remained useful despite technological change? How does wow appear in modern advertising slogans? Why do campaigns use wow to create excitement around product? Maya, can you hear me?
Wait, what's with it felt like you were talking to someone else for a second. You still with me? Oh, what did we just do? You've been firing off these big questions like you're on a mission. Did you just finish something? I'll take your word for it. But I'm still not entirely sure.
Okay, Maya, my next question is my next question is okay, my question is why does an ordinary expression deserve historical and attention? What can the origin of wow teach us about how humans? How does wow? What does the long history and changing use of wow reveal about human creativity in language? Why does the simple word wow provide such a fascinating example of emotional culture, society, technology, and human communication can come together to shape the evolution of language?
I'm noticing you're asking these the same way you did with all right and wow and good morning. When people take a simple word and stretch it to cover everything from wedding altars to text messages, it shows that we don't just use language to describe the world, we use it to build it. We're constantly hacking these words, twisting their meanings to fit. Wait, can't what? You got me there.
Okay, Maya, my next question is why does uh, wow demonstrate multimodal communication? Why is language more than written vocabulary?
Because words are just the bones of what we're actually saying. You know, the real magic is in the tone, the silence, and the look in someone's eyes. If language were just a
So, this was my Maya Allah.